Namaste, welcome back once again. So today I am going to discuss about the sciatica. What is sciatica first? Sciatica is a nerve which is coming, sciatica is a nerve which is coming or its originating place is the lower back from where the lumbar region of our spine started. Okay, the lumbar region from the spine, the originating point of the sciatica nerve is there. Sciatica nerve start from lumbar and it reach till our foot, okay, crossing the buttock, crossing the thighs and crossing the calf muscles. And when we have a pain due to the dysfunctioning or the instability of the lumbar and the sacrum region, it becomes a sciatica pain, okay. So sciatica pain is also called as a radiating pain. Why it is called a radiating pain? Because you will never feel the pain on your lower back. You will feel the pain either on your buttock or on your thighs or on your calf or on your foot. Okay, you will hardly feel the pain on your lower back near the lumbar and the sacrum region. That's why it's called a radiating pain or a radiating sciatica, because there's no fixed point on the lumbar where you feel the pain. Okay, so in the first session I will talk how to prevent the sciatica issue. Okay, so in sciatica, what you have to avoid firstly, how to prevent sciatica related issues, that whenever you are going forward, okay, when you are leaning forward, you either have to bend your knees, okay, when you are going forward. I will show the demonstration also later on, but firstly let me clear with the theoretical view of the sciatica. You have to go forward by bending your knees, okay, and when you are going forward or when you are going forward doing any posture, you have to make your pelvic moving forward in a 90 degree. Okay, it should be, you should take your pelvic region forward at the 90 degree, then you have to take your back down. Okay, don't move your back at the first time coming down. You have to take the support of your pelvic region to prevent the sciatica or any kind of back related issue, whether it's related to herniated discs or any kind of the back issues, if you want to overcome or if you want to prevent. So first is that you have to take care of your pelvic. Okay, when you are bending, you have to micro bend your knees, then you have to go forward. Okay, and the third is that you have to be very clear that you have to lengthen your spine whenever you are doing any forward bending. So why? What is the reason of doing the lengthening of the spine? Lengthening of the spine is also called the traction of the spine. Okay, when we were child, we can see that we used to move like a pendulum by putting our hands on the two chairs and keep on moving ourselves, oscillating ourselves like forward and backward. So by this pushing palms downwards towards the floor or towards any object, we make the spine, we make the vertebral columns to stretch, to lengthen. When the vertebral columns lengthen or stretch, the fluid which is called the nucleus pulposus, it will also come in between the disc, in between the vertebral columns, and it nourishes the disc, it nourishes the spinal columns. Okay, so that's why we face the any back related issues is because of this fluid which is called nucleus pulposus. With the reduction in this fluid, the two vertebrae come together and they make a friction, because of which your back feel the pain. So that's why this fluid is very important to nourish or to make the balance in between the two vertebrae. Okay, so that's why we do the lengthening of the spine whenever we go forward bend. Okay, so this is one more point, you have to do a traction of your spine. So let's start. Firstly, one more thing I would like to clear, that the sciatica The sciatica nerve start from the lumbar tree region. It's L3, L4, L5, sacrum 1 and sacrum 2. Okay, when sacrum 1 and sacrum 2 is called the sacrum also. So when we have the major problem in the lumbar 5 and the sacrum 1, then the sciatica pain start. Okay, so how to prevent the sciatica is in 3 to 4 steps. I would like to tell you that the first is you have to stretch your hamstrings and your hip rotators. Okay, we have hip rotators muscles and we have a hamstring muscle. So you have to stretch your hamstring, you have to make your hip rotator muscles very stable, so that if it's flexible, if it's stretchable, then you can use your pelvic more. Okay, suppose your hamstrings are very stiff, and when you are moving your pelvic, it's very difficult. Then your this thing will also come forward. So you have to, for the maximum utilization of your pelvic in the forward bend, you have to make your hamstrings and your hip rotator muscles flexible. Okay, so this is the first thing. The second thing is that, as I have already told you, that lengthen the spine by the traction of the spine. I also tell you how to make it lengthen. Okay, then the third point is sit well. Okay, how to sit, that also I will tell you. And the fourth is strength and stretch the erector spine and the abdominal muscle. Okay, we have a erector spine muscle which is strengthening or which is moving throughout your back, and then we have the four major abdominal muscle which is called the rectus abdominis, which is also called a pack. When you make a 8 packs or 6 packs ab, the abs which is coming, that's called your rectus abdominis muscle. Then we have a external and internal oblique muscle. Okay, we have an internal and external oblique muscle. Then we have a transverse abdominis muscle, the transverse abdominis muscle. So these three muscles means your rectus abdominis, your internal and external oblique. These two muscles are very supportive for your back. Okay, and the fourth muscle, which is the transverse abdominis muscle, it is very helpful if it's stable, and if it is healthy, it is good for the breathing. Okay, and it's very good for your attaching to the diaphragm. It makes diaphragm easy to breathe, so that you can breathe easily and comfortable. Okay, so let's start with the stretching hamstring and hip rotators. So there are generally two postures which we have to do to make the hamstring and the hip rotators flexible enough. The first is your Supta Padangushthanasana, which is also called reclining big toe pose. So how we have to do, I'll just show you. You can take the help of a strap. Okay, just lie down on the mat. Lie down comfortably on the mat. Okay, now bend your right leg. Put the strap on the bulb of your right foot. Okay, make your right knee straight. Okay, now with inhale, slightly stretch your right leg towards you. Again, if you want to bend your knee, you can micro bend your knees according to your comfort. Okay, never pressurize yourself. Do very comfortably and gently. Take it forward. Now from here, with inhale, take your left palm and extend it sidewise. With inhale and exhale, slowly take your right leg towards the right side. Okay, make it down as much as possible. Again, if you want, you can micro bend your knees. It's very comfortable for you. If it's very comfortable, you can bend. And see the other side. If you want, you can close your eyes. Stay here, focus on your breath, 5 counts of your breathing. Then inhale, take your right leg up. And again, with both hands, stretch it towards you. And with deep inhale and exhale, take your right leg to the other side, means left side, your right hand extending towards the right side, and your head going towards the opposite side, means right side. Now stay here for again 5 breaths. Focus on your breathing. Again, if you want, you can micro bend your knees and relax it. Now once again, inhale, bending your knees, take your right leg up, again stretch towards you and exhale down. Similarly, you can do with the other leg. Okay, just putting near the bulb of your left foot, right leg straight, inhale and exhale towards this side, hand towards extending sidewise and head towards the other side. 5 breath. Inhale up, stretch towards you. Once again inhale and exhale towards the other side, head towards the other side. Focus on your breath. If you want, you can close your eyes. Focusing your breath. Inhale, come to the middle, stretch towards you and exhale. Relax. Okay. So this is the Supta Padangusthana with the help of this strap. So the second is the Uttanasana. So Uttanasana, I said that if your hamstring and the hip rotator muscles are flexible enough, then it is very easy for you to take your pelvic forward. So Uttanasana is to make your hip and your hamstring flexible. Okay. So how we have to do, I'll tell you. So if you want, you can take your feet hip width apart, otherwise feet together, your tailbone tucked in. Okay, this is your anterior superior iliac spine, so it should be in. Now you can put your fingers on your waist. Now with deep inhale, lengthening your spine, stretching your pelvic. Okay, taking your hip back, stretching your pelvis. Now this pelvic, see, my spine is elongated forward. So what is the elongation effect? The elongation effect is again the traction. The spine traction is happening here. I am extending my spine, and my pelvic is coming making 90 degree with my legs. Okay, my pelvic region is making 90 degree with the legs. Okay, now feel the stretch. Go down as much as possible. If you want, you can put your palms and take your forehead towards your waist. Stay here. Again here, if you want, you can micro bend your knees, no problem. Stay here and down. Now inhale, when you are coming back, put your fingers on your waist, stretch your pelvic, stretch or elongate your spine, and inhale, come forward. Slightly take your hip forward and then straight. Okay, this is the Uttanasana for again strengthening or stretching or making your hamstring and your hip rotators stable enough and flexible. So this is Supta Padangusthana and the Uttanasana for stretching hamstrings and the hip rotators. Second is lengthen the spine. Lengthen the spine again. You can go with the Uttanasana by elongating your spine. If you feel it's discomfort in doing Uttanasana by traction or doing traction of your spine, you can go with the second option, which is sitting down in a Dandasana. Sitting down in a Dandasana, putting your palms just beside your pelvic region and push your palms towards the mat or the floor. Okay, pushing your palms down and making your spine up. This is the spinal traction. Relax. Inhale. Relax. So you no need to take your hip up. You have to fix your hip on the mat. You have to just lengthen your spine by pushing the palms on the mat. Okay. Or you can take the help of the two chairs. Presently I don't have a chair, but I can give you just an example. Just two chairs in one line, putting your hands and just be up. Pushing the chair hand with your hands and making your spine up. Okay? Up. With the equal size chair, you will be in the middle, holding the part or the handle of the chair, like clutching it, and then inhale up. This make your spine traction. Okay? This is the second thing. Now, the third and the very important is how to sit. You have to sit well, and how to sit I will tell you. To sit in the beginning and to prevent the sciatica, try to use a soft cushion, okay, or you can also fold the mat. Okay, you can fold the mat to make it little bit up. Okay, it should be little bit up so that it can reach your hip region. Okay, you can fold your mat or you can just take a cushion. Now try to put your hip or your buttock near the starting point of the cushion. Okay, you don't have to put your buttock in the middle, you have to put your buttock at the starting point of the cushion. Okay, starting point of the cushion, and sit. So what is happening here, your pelvic is going up. So if your pelvic go up, it means your pelvic is moving forward. Your pelvic is moving forward, as I have showed you, as I have shown you that when we are going forward in the Uttanasana, okay, before that we have to take, when we are standing erect, we have to take our tailbone tucked in. So what is happening when we are sitting on the cushion, our tailbone is tucking in. Okay, when the tailbone is tucking in, the pelvic will go forward. When the pelvic go forward, the lumbar region, which have a curve, the natural curve will come. Okay, the natural curve will come, and if the natural curve will come, it will prevent the sciatica issues. Okay, so this is very important. I'll show you from the other side also how you have to sit. Just the starting point of the cushion, put your hip. Okay, put your hip and see that your pelvic is moving forward or your tailbone is moving forward. When your tailbone move forward, there will be a natural curve on your lumbar region. Okay, natural curve. So when you take your pelvic back, the hunch will come on your lumbar, which is very bad, which is very wrong. Okay, because when you hunch, you go forward and the fluid in between your vertebrae go down, which open. So this is like that. The fluid will go down and will open the vertebrae. Okay, open the disc. When the disc will open, the fluid will come out. When you go forward, the disc open, the fluid come out. There is a friction between the bones, and you will feel the pain. So when you are going forward, you have to go forward with your pelvic, and you have to make your pelvic stable with the help of your hip rotators, with the help of your hamstrings, and with the help of your spine. Okay. Now, the fourth one is to make your erector spine muscle and your abdominal muscle strengthen and stretchable. Okay. So erector spine, as I have told, it will be good if you are doing the traction of the spine and the Uttanasana. Abdominal muscle, how to make your abdominal muscles stretchable and healthy. I'll tell you how to do that. So let me put it aside. So what you have to do, firstly I'll start with the rectus abdominis muscle, okay, the abs muscle. So how to make that muscle more strengthened and flexible also, okay. You have to take care of both things, the strengthening and the stretchability, both things. So how to make it strengthen the rectus abdominis muscle? The first asana is the boat posture, okay. Second is your bridge posture and the chakrasana to make it flexible. So firstly we'll start with the strengthening of the rectus abdominis muscle. So what you have to do, just Sitting in a Dandasana, making your spine erect. Bend your knees, take your calf muscles parallel with the mat, okay, making your spine erect. If you want, you can hold your knees here, toes touching towards you. This is for rectus abdominis, scale down variation. The scale up is try to make your knees straight, toes towards you, coming to your tailbone, and your hands extending forward. Stay here, focus on your breath. Chest is coming out. Stay here, focusing on your breath. Focus on your breath for 10 counts. Stay here. Feel the tension in your abdominal region. 10 counts. So rectus abdominis muscle is very important because it holds the spine. Okay, it gives the strengthening or the stability to your lower back. That's why it's very important. So the strengthening happened with the help of the both posture, Naukasana. Now we have to also go with the flexibility. Strengthening and the flexibility is both important to handle the pressure or to handle the environmental pressure or the surrounding pressure which comes when you never know that. Okay, so let's start how to make it flexible with the help of the bridge posture. Just lying down on your mat, bend your knees, take your heels closer towards your hip. Now slowly take your hip up, okay? Interlock your fingers, take your shoulder blades coming together as much as possible, shoulder blades coming together. Stay here, focus on your breath. This is the one scale. The other scale is try to put your palm towards your lower back, fingers on the waist. Make a firm grip on your waist. Stay here, focus on your breath. Stay here for 8 counts. This is making your rectus abdominis muscle stretchable. And exhale, relax. Focus on your breathing. Okay. So this is the one. Now the other is your external and internal obliques muscle. So how to make your external and internal oblique muscle good enough is with the help of Jatara Parivrtta Asana and the revolved triangle posture. So I'll show you the Jatara Parivrtta Asana. So how to do that, this Jatara Parivrtta Asana? Just bending your both the knees, okay? Extend your hands sidewise. But deep inhale and exhale, take your legs to the right side or left side, whichever way you want to go first, and your head towards the other side. Stay here, focus on your breath. 10 counts. Inhale, come to the middle, and exhale, switch to the other side. So try to take your knees closer towards your armpit, okay? Relax here, focus on your breath. This is the Jatara Parivrtta Asana for your abdominal muscles. Now inhale, come to the middle, and exhale, relax. Now whenever you're getting up from any of the posture which is supine or on your back, try to take the right side curve and slowly get up. Okay. So these are the certain practices for making your spine more flexible, more strengthened, to make your muscles more stable, more strengthened, more flexible. So whatever practice we just discussed is for the healthy person, okay, to prevent the sciatica, okay, sciatica pain, to prevent the sciatica pain. Those people who are suffering from any high BP issue, suffering from heart related issues, avoid doing the bridge posture, okay. Avoid doing any posture in which you are maximum utilizing or in which you are moving forward, okay. avoid doing that, and avoid doing the posture in which the circulation of the blood or the blood rushes towards your heart. Okay, so these are the posture for the healthy persons for the prevention of the sciatica. In the next series, I will come with the posture to cure the sciatica, okay, to cure the back pain or to make your back more healthy. Thank you very much for seeing. Thank you very much for watching. Be safe, be healthy, keep on practicing the yoga, keep on doing the asanas, keep on practicing the pranayama. Thank you very much.